In a town where the clang of metal and the smell of oil were the daily soundtrack, lived a man named Leo. By day, his hands, stained with grease and grit, brought life back to sputtering engines. He was the best mechanic in town, known for his uncanny ability to understand the language of machines. But when the sun dipped below the horizon and the garage door rolled shut, those same hands would glide over a different set of keys, coaxing melodies from an old upright piano tucked away in the corner of his small apartment. Leo wasn't just a mechanic. He was a musician. The calloused fingers that tightened bolts and diagnosed engine troubles could also dance across the ivory, weaving stories of longing, joy, and sorrow. It was a secret he kept close to his heart, a world known only to him and the four walls of his room. The music was his escape, his true voice, a language far more eloquent than the few words he spoke each day. Then, one sunny afternoon, a vintage convertible, the color of a summer sky, sputtered into his garage, and behind the wheel was Clara. She had a smile that could outshine the chrome, bumpers and eyes that held the same spark Leo felt when a difficult engine finally roared back to life. She was a local artist, new to town, her hands usually dusted with charcoal and paint, not engine grease. Her car, a beloved heirloom, had fallen silent, and everyone told her Leo was the only one who could make it sing again. As Leo worked on the car, Clara would visit, sketching in her notebook. She wasn't just waiting, she was observing. She sketched the dance of his hands, the focused line of his brow, the quiet confidence in his movements. They didn't talk much. Leo was a man of few words, and Clara seemed to understand the silent language of creation. She spoke about colors and light. He spoke about carburetors and spark plugs, yet somehow they understood each other perfectly. In her presence, a new melody began to form in Leo's mind. It started as a faint hum, a simple tune that mirrored the gentle rhythm of her breathing as she sketched. As the days turned into a week, the melody grew, becoming more complex, more vibrant. It had the bright, hopeful notes of her laughter and the deep, thoughtful chords of her quiet moments. It was the sound of a sunrise, the feeling of a warm breeze, the color of a summer sky. It was Clara. Night after night, Leo would rush home, the melody alive in his head, and pour it out onto the piano keys. His apartment filled with the sound of his unspoken feelings. The music told a story his shy voice never could. It spoke of admiration, of a sudden, unexpected connection, of a heart that had been quiet for too long and was now singing a deafening song. He called it Clara's Melody. It was the most beautiful thing he had ever created. He finished the piece the same day he finished her car. He polished the final chrome detail, turned the key, and the engine purred to life. A perfect, steady hum. It was running better than it had in years. He felt a pang of sadness. With the car fixed, Clara would have no reason to return to the garage. The quiet companionship they had built over oil pans and sketchbooks was coming to an end. When she arrived, her face lit up at the sound of the engine. She thanked him profusely, her joy infectious. As she was about to pay, Leo's heart pounded in his chest. This was his chance. He could tell her, not about his feelings, that was too much, but about the music. He could invite her to hear the piece he wrote for her. The words formed in his throat, but they wouldn't come out. He was a mechanic, a man of engines and tools, not of art and emotion. What if she laughed? What if she thought it was strange? Fear, cold and heavy, settled over him. Instead of inviting her to hear his music, he just nodded, took the payment, and handed her the keys. "She'll run smooth now," was all he managed to say. Clara smiled, a little wistfully, as if she was expecting something more, too. She thanked him one last time, got into her sky blue convertible and drove away, leaving behind only the faint scent of her perfume and the lingering echo of a perfect engine. That night, Leo sat at his piano, the silence of his apartment deafening. He looked at the sheet music for Clara's Melody. He played it once, twice, a dozen times. The beautiful notes filled the room, a testament to a love that was never spoken, a song for a girl who never heard it. The melody was perfect, but it felt hollow, a beautiful cage for all the words he couldn't say. "You're spaced. Basset." Leo's garage thrived. But the music in his apartment grew quieter. He still played, but the passion had dimmed. Clara's melody gathered dust on top of the piano, a painful reminder of his silent regret. He heard that Clara had moved away, becoming a successful artist, her work celebrated for its emotional depth and vibrant life. He sometimes imagined her life, full of color and expression, so different from his, which was coated in shades of gray grease. Then, one day, a letter arrived. It was an invitation to a gallery opening in the city. The artist's name was Clara. Curiosity and a flicker of a long-dormant hope. Kanawid, Edim. He closed the garage early, changed out of his work clothes, and for the first time in years, drove out of town. The gallery was bright and filled with people, and on the walls were Clara's paintings. Leo walked through the exhibit, stunned. There were paintings of sunrises, of open roads, and then he saw it. In the center of the main wall was a large canvas. It was a painting of a man's hands. Greasy, calloused, strong hands, hovering over the gleaming chrome of a car engine. Below the painting, the title read, "The Mechanic's Melody." His heart stopped. He stared at the painting, at the hands he recognized as his own. Clara had captured not just the image, but the feeling, the dedication, the quiet passion. As he stood there, a voice beside him said, "I always wondered what song they were playing." He turned, and there was Clara. She was older, her eyes holding a new depth, but her smile was the same. I don't understand," Leo stammered. The title, ... Double quotes. Clara smiled softly. "You were so quiet, but your hands, they were like a musician's. The way you moved, the focus, the care, it was like you were creating a symphony. I went home every day and tried to paint the music I saw. I called it the mechanic's melody. I always felt I never quite captured it, though. I felt like I was missing the actual notes." Tears welled in Leo's eyes. All these years, he thought his secret was his alone. He thought his music was unheard. But she had heard it, not with her ears, but with her artist soul. She had seen the music in his hands. "There are notes," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "There's a real song. I wrote it for you." Clara's eyes widened, a silent question in them. "It's called Clara's Melody," he whispered. That evening, for the first time, Leo's apartment had a guest. The city lights twinkled outside the window as Leo sat at his old piano. With Clara sitting beside him, he placed his fingers on the keys. He took a deep breath and began to play. The melody filled the small room, no longer a secret, no longer a lament of what it was. A conversation, a confession, a bridge across years of silence. It was the sound of a mechanic's hands and an artist's heart finally playing in perfect harmony. The song had finally found its listener, and in her eyes, Leo saw that she had been listening all along. Thanks for watching our story today. If you were moved by Leo and Clara's journey, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales that touch the heart. Let us know in the comments below. Have you ever had a secret passion you were afraid to share? We'd love to hear from you. See you in the next video.